America. All right. So here I am at Morgan County. I've given these people every opportunity to comply, and now it's time to bring them into compliance. Hey, how you doing?
Hello, good, how are you?
Good. Are you the notary?
Sorry, what?
Are you the notary?
I'm not, no. She's, our notary that's in his office is not here this week, but she'll be back Monday.
Is there anybody else that's a fill-in?
Who's the notary?
Yeah, because I gotta file something and it's got to be notarized, and
Yeah.
I came all this way and
There's
that
sometimes employee development.
I've
There's,
requested. Yeah, but that's the problem. Is like there always should be somebody in here that's a notary, because like court, like something needs to be turned in, something filed.
yeah, well, I think generally like forms that people have to notarize, it's kind of like on them to like figure out what you do for the getting notarized. Like
Right.
banks will do it, or you just like hire a notary.
Got you.
But I don't really. Oh yeah.
You got right
Once
here. Yeah.
we don't really have like a dedicated notary in the office, as far as I'm aware. I don't know. I haven't worked here that long, but it's here and available.
So I've tried to give Morgan County every opportunity to get that. Like I've requested a simple record, and they basically tied my hand on it, and now I gotta freaking file a lawsuit and bring them into compliance. What was your name? I know I bet you before when I came in here. I'm just horrible at names.
Just Danielle.
Oh, Danielle. Okay.
Yeah, and this week especially they have there's like a state thing meeting that they're doing. So.
All right, Danielle. Thank you so much. Yeah. Oh, where's the second district court?
It's you see the sign up there.
Yeah. Got it. Thank you. Hello. How are you? So, got an issue. The main notary person is out this week, and her name just slipped my mind. She said to come over here, that there's a notary that's over here in this section.
Yep, I'm a notary.
Would you mind notarizing something for me?
Okay, what is it?
I got to file something in district court right here. It's
Oh.
court. It's court documents.
Okay.
Okay.
You have one with you?
I sure do. Oh. So.
Oh, here, I'll give you that one.
All right, and you're probably gonna want to see.
Yeah, your driver's license.
There we go.
Okay.
Now, this is just to explain. So everything's in order. Full. That's my real full name.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an author and a journalist. I go under the pseudonym, alias Don Matthews, for a lot of things. I requested the records under Don Matthews, but I've got So right here, both the verification,
Uh-huh.
so that's for the suit right there. Verification, I'm Matthew Reardon, aka Don Matthews, and then I've even go even further, just so there was no confusion, and I have a declaration of identity.
Mm-hmm.
Matthew Reardon, aka Don Matthews. I am that person. I made that grammar request under the name of Don Matthews, and it'll be a sworn statement right there.
Okay. Let me ask a question really quick. I've never had them with the aliens before. So let me just find out.
Have they completed an application for the permit? Not? No. Yeah, that's what they need to do. They can apply for them at the same time, but they're two separate applications.
What's up, man?
How's it going?
All right, how you doing?
Good. So, yeah, come on.
Got a lawsuit.
Here, come chat with me.
Yeah.
Come on down.
Sir.
So, yeah, let's chat.
All right.
So, you're needing some notarized documents, is that right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem letting you see it, man. I know it's not the formal, regular
I was
service.
going to say, I'm a notary too.
I've got to get it notarized, or I've got to get it properly served on y'all. But man, I didn't want to have to do that. I really didn't. I wanted to give y'all every opportunity, and then I realized how the time. I put that request in on the 17th, and honestly, as I have spelled out in there, this becomes more of an urgent thing with Joshua's trial approaching, and there being
it was
issues.
stricken. Did you not hear that?
It was what?
There isn't a trial approaching.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, he had an attorney enter for him and they struck the trial.
Got you.
So yeah, so we don't have an approaching trial. There is a grandma process though where after you submit it, if it's not responded to within 10 business days, you can take that as a constructive denial.
Right.
And then
problem
there's
is-
a 30-day period that you have to appeal it, and then it goes to the State Records Committee. And so it goes through that entire process.
And what I was basically doing with that is I was just basically saying, hey, I'm going to jump the last step because I believe, being that I believe this gets into constitutional issues. Now, if it was strictly just grammar, you know, that would be one thing. But being that it gets into more viewpoint discrimination, gets into some First Amendment issues, I believe that I have the standing, particularly being a member of the press, and also I didn't know that y'all had, moved that trial, but I saw it as, we're down to 2 weeks left.
Right,
This is
we
like
didn't move it. It was his
them.
attorney that moved
Right,
it. But
right,
yes,
right.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was looking at it like, okay, just from a press standpoint, this is a public, interest topic, especially if it's something, if there's additional dirt on that cop. So
Right. So-
I know that in my head, I knew I didn't have the time to go and run through the state appeal board. So
Right.
I was going to petition the court for,
okay.
and
And you're welcome to do that. What I was going to tell you, and I'm not your attorney, you can go hire an attorney.
no, I was
But
going to actually, hey, I was,
I'm a public servant, and I want to let you know.
Mono,
Just-
I was going to, hey, no, I wanted to
Yeah,
actually handle all this
absolutely.
myself.
No, and I think
Because
that's
believe I
fine.
can.
So now I'm just trying to be transparent with you that my position would be you haven't exhausted your administrative remedies.
Of course.
Now,
I would
if you
totally expect you to 12B6. Well, I don't think that would fall under 12B6. It'd fall under like a 12B4.
Yeah, it's just the way it works in Utah, that you exhaust your administrative remedies and then you can petition the court at that point. If you're challenging the grandma statute itself, then that's another story, right? And you can petition the court directly. So
Right.
I don't know if that's what you're doing.
That's
But it could be something-
It's going that direction because I told you the last time.
Yeah.
I was going to, if I got stonewalled here, I was going to use that as my standing to constitutionally challenge parts of the grandma statute
Right.
under the First Amendment.
And I will not prevent you from doing that.
Right,
Like
no,
I
no.
think you're totally within your rights to do that. I'm just letting you know on the grandma side, the statute has a process and you exhaust those administrative remedies and then you can go to court. And I'm just trying to save us both time, right? If we can figure something out.
Well, the thing is, honestly, I've got a pauper's oath in there. It's not going to cost me anything. Yeah, it might cost a little bit of a drive, but that's why I was trying to get this thing worked out with you, without it having to come to this, because I personally, man, I think it would be a waste of resources for the county to
Right.
just turn over the records, man. That's all we need.
Well, and the more that I looked into it too, because I got your email, I forwarded it on. I'm like, hey, now we've got, at least we have the mailing address.
Oh, and I realized I accidentally shuffled those numbers. I think I put on the email when I went back and looked at it. I think I put 106,144. It's 160,144. That was
Okay.
just.
So if you can just fix that.
It's already.
I-
It's on
Oh,
the
did you
paperwork.
put
It's
it
on
in the? Okay, all right. Yeah, and then the other thing too is it does require your name, and then but I haven't seen your ID, and I have reason to believe that you're actually Matthew Reardon,
Why is that?
just because I
Who'd you talk to?
I didn't talk to anyone.
He did.
No, I didn't.
He did.
I didn't. Why do you think I talked to someone
You
about it?
talked to Mark Arrington, didn't you?
I didn't talk to Mark Arrington.
You know
I have
Mark
no
Arrington,
idea who
though,
that
did-
is.
You do.
I don't.
He's the city prosecutor for Layton.
I have not talked to Mark Arrington. I didn't know that. I work with counties, not cities.
All right. Well, okay. How did you come to realize? Okay. Yeah.
Well,
All right. How you doing?
yeah, we're doing good. This is Ty.
What's up, Ty?
This
Yeah.
is Matthew Reardon.
Matthew, good to meet you.
So,
Good to meet you.
How are you doing today?
but no, I have not talked to him, but I think I will now, just so because he
Well-
may have other information that I don't have.
No. Here's the thing. It's in this right here. So I'm an author and I'm a journalist,
Okay.
and it's even got my name on there. Doing business as WTP News, also, aka Don Matthews. I use the pseudonym, the alias, Don Matthews, and it's because I have been gaslighted. It's because my personal information has been doxed out, and I have every single right. It's not illegal to use an alias, to use a pseudonym.
Well, under the GRAMA statute, you have to give your name, and there's penalties up to Class B misdemeanors for obtaining information under false pretenses.
But I've got a
So-
sworn document right here that says I am that person and why I use my alias.
And that's fine, but you didn't tell me that, did you?
Well,
And it's
right
not
here.
in your grammar request either. So what I'm saying, and I don't know, do you want me to call you Matthew or Don? I don't know what you prefer.
It doesn't matter. I mean, honestly, I basically had to burn the alias, the pseudonym.
But here's what I'm saying, Matthew. The whole reason that we're kind of talking about the grandma thing too, because I don't know if something happened with your grandma or with your name and you were doxxed and whatever.
Right.
But grandma protects personal information, right? So even when you get a document, it'll still be redacted, right? We still redact that information. And you, being a victim of doxing, should understand more than anyone that we want to make sure that we protect that information, right? Because we don't want anyone that we release information for to be in your same situation.
Right.
And so, like I said, there's a process. If you challenge the constitutionality of the statute, I think that's one thing. But as far as going through the process, we've got to do that first. And so we're not stonewalling you. We're not hiding behind anything. But if you want to submit a grammar request with what's required by the statute, which is your name, mailing address, email address, if you so choose to receive documents that way, and what is it, phone number? Anyway, there's those things that I outlined in the statute.
Why he's sitting here?
Yeah. Well, so you've made some people uncomfortable in the building. And
I've been a journalist. I came in
I
here
know.
to file court documents, and that's literally it.
Right, but you gave a false name.
No, that's not the case at all. I can tell you right now, if we're going to go down this road,
We can go down that road.
the
but what
the name Don Matthews. It's I mean, I have every lawful reason to use a pseudonym, to use an alias, and it's because of what
not
happened.
on a government document with a request.
Okay.
And I'm telling you that right now. I've read the statute. I went
All
back
right,
through it.
let me ask you this, okay? Show me a signature on there.
I don't see a signature.
Because there's no signature line.
Right.
There's no signature line. You have to. So I didn't sign my name. I simply put the requester's information is Don Matthews.
Right.
That is my alias name. You're trying.
And
You're
that's
trying to.
fine.
You're trying to walk me. See, this is retaliation right here. I come in here to file a lawsuit, and
I came here because I said I'm a notary and I can help you. I didn't realize it was a lawsuit.
okay,
but
and then
we
you
can
bring
still-
law enforcement over here, and you start talking about me using my pseudonym name, my alias name, and you're talking about criminal charges, and this is straight up harassment and
I
intimidation.
didn't bring law enforcement over here. They came. There's been
But we had
within the building.
no issues. We were sitting here having a cordial conversation about this
I
lawsuit.
completely agree.
And then this right here is intimidation.
Matthew, let me ask you. So, do you feel that you haven't raised your voice at anyone else in the building?
No. I wanted to know what that woman's name down. Do you want to look at the videos? In fact, they're on my YouTube channel.
Well, I know.
Show me one thing. I have the right to redress my government.
I agree with
And in
that.
fact, if I want to say fuck every single person in here, I can say that because that's
Yeah.
my right under the First Amendment. But I have not
agree.
gotten anything out really. The videos are public, okay?
I get
so
it.
you can't say that I've said anything, I've done anything wrong.
Well, except
Other-
filing a grammar request
Except file. You
that
know how
requires your name.
I do it everywhere because I've gotten
that's-
doxxed, okay?
Well, and that's fine for you.
Because
too.
I have the right under the First Amendment to request records with some anonymity because of
No,
me
you
being
don't.
gaslighted.
You don't.
Okay.
have a right to do it under
Show
anonymity.
me where on this paper where it's actually put to where anybody can actually know when they fill out a request that they can't use a pseudonym or an alias.
I'm not saying it's on there.
Okay.
But the statute itself
Well,
says it.
but you know what? You cannot
and-
criminalize. You cannot criminalize something that the public is not made aware of. You
Ignorance
can't-
of
if
the
it's-
law is not a defense. You know that as well as anyone.
Okay, and
And so
a pseudonym.
the
We're
grandma
both.
statute
but we're
says
both,
what it says.
But we're both at a standstill here because I'm telling you that a pseudonym, an alias, is not is there's nothing illegal about it, and especially being a journalist, and especially being an author, especially being doxxed, especially being wrapped up in federal civil rights litigation right now against two different jurisdictions, two different municipalities that decided they were going to take my information and dox it out. Please tell me how that's justifiable.
And I'm not saying it's justifiable, but we are at a standstill. That's the one thing I
Well,
agree with you, because
okay.
I don't know all the history of the other things. But
Hey.
what we agree on,
So they're talking about charges here, and you got law enforcement that comes and sits down at the table and puts the body cam right there. Share
So-
this out.
okay, so what I agree with you is that we see the statute differently. That's the purpose of the grandma
Well, we
appeals
clearly
board.
see the
right?
statute differently on the grandma as far as everything with all of that. And now we're going to look at aliases, and you're going to try to actually come over here and intimidate me with law enforcement.
I'm okay if you guys go. Like, I'm not trying to intimidate you.
Take a hike.
Well, I mean, they'll go if they want to go.
Well, then I'll go also. If that's going to
And
be
you
the
can
case,
go too. I'm just
if that's going
saying.
to be the case, then y'all successfully intimidated me away from here, and that's going to make for a great story.
But Matthew, I'm not intimidating you away.
Well,
I'm just
then these
telling.
people need to take a hike.
They don't need to, but
Yes,
they can
we're
choose
talking-
to,
we're
just
talking
like you
about-
can
we're
choose
talking
to as
about-
well.
We're talking about legal shit that has nothing to do with law enforcement.
What I'm telling
they
you
need to take a hike.
is what's good for the goose is good for the gander. So if you're free to be here, they're free to be here. I've told them I don't need them to be here, and they can go.
I'll let you guys
But
talk.
you can't tell them to. You can't order them to leave. It's a public space.
Okay, well, and I
So
can just
just-
as easily get up and walk the fuck out.
And you could, and I'm not going to stop you from doing that either. But I willingly came to chat with you. Is
Okay,
that
and
is
then
that true?
And then you brought some law enforcement goons with you.
I didn't bring them with me. They came out. And I appreciate them coming just to check up on me.
Yeah, because I'm such a dangerous person. Is that why the last time when I came in here to see you, I had no issues with anybody? I was down there talking to the records clerk, who was extremely rude, by the way. And then I walked down there to see you, and you got a pistol on your hip. How often do you wear a pistol on your hip?
Every day.
Or was that okay.
Every day. I've been here 4 years about. I wear it every day.
All right. Well,
So
I thought about that after I left, and I was like, well, was he trying to actually, because y'all?
I'm a
give me the
Second Amendment
stonewall.
loving
Y'all
guy.
I am too.
Okay.
I am too.
Yeah. And I'm a First Amendment loving guy too. That's why I'm talking to you.
I wish you would actually truly.
I'm a
show
Fourth
it-
Amendment loving guy
show-
too.
show
That's
it
why
in
I'm a
your-
prosecutor.
Show it in
so.
your actions, then, Garrett.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
where's these records? Why can't I get these records?
Well, number one, you need to submit a complete grammar request. So you came in and I said, okay, here's the statute. And your words to me were, I thought I'd slip one by you.
No.
Using an old grammar.
Actually,
code.
okay, and
That's what
and-
you said. It's on your
let me-
recording,
but-
right?
But let me also tell you this, okay?
Okay.
And I've also got this on recording. When I filled out this grammar request right here, the girl in the office, I don't remember what her name is, but I told her, I said, is email all right? And I said I would prefer to just put email. She said, yeah, this day and age, email is the easiest way anyway. So
Yeah.
so that's a county employee that told
who said
me.
that though?
The lady that's in the back right corner right there.
Okay. So, but a grandma code official, there's two within the county, right? There's one for sheriffs and
I
then
get it.
one for everything
I
else.
get it, but that's what I was told by a county employee, and so
And that may
had
be
I
true.
been told
Yeah.
the right thing right then and there, okay, which I would say, I'm just going to say, if that's where people make grammar requests is in that office, then maybe the people in that office that are serving the grammar request, maybe they should actually know the grammar laws. Because if you're going to come back and
And that
use
may be
that,
true as well.
if you're going to come back and use that as a reason to delay the production of records, then they should have told me the right thing from the beginning, because I feel like this is just delay tactic after delay tactic after delay tactic. And here we are once again. This grammar request was put in on the 17th. Here
Right.
we are in May. So we're over 2 weeks. Now,
So we're 11 business days after the
Now-
request went in,
now,
but,
you're
but
missing
are
one
you
part.
saying...
You're missing one part. Yeah.
No, but hold on. You can make a request. That doesn't mean you're granted.
Well, I get it, but
So-
if normally, if it's a normal procedure for members of the press to get an expedited response within 5 days because releasing the record benefits the public, which is what is marked, so this should have a 5-day turnaround. And I'll be honest with you, anywhere else I've requested grammar records and I've marked that box, they get me the records within 5 days. Now, y'all are trying to say that's just optional, okay? So now we're wanting to flirt with 14th Amendment violations right there, because I guarantee you, if you want to go down that road, then I'm going to do a request and find out how many members of the press have requested records, how many of them marked that box, and how many of those people actually got their records within 5 days. And if I find out the majority of them got it within 5 days and I didn't, do I even need to go there about what that means?
I think you're missing the main point, though, that we talked about in my office last week was you need a complete grammar request before we can process it. Right? So do you have one with your name?
But
Well, we talked about it
expedited is
before.
5 days.
Yeah.
That's expedited.
Exactly.
So basically, we're already at about 3 times that amount of time.
We're not.
And you're
We're
wanting
at
to
11
start
business
the
days.
5 days. Okay, well, we're over twice.
We're at
We're
11,
really at,
yeah.
we're really at 14, 15 days. And that's
Your
that's not
purpose for
business.
expediting was a trial of May 20th, which isn't happening. We're not even resetting a trial till maybe June.
Okay, well, I'm just hearing about
And
that for
so-
the first time.
But once again, I mean, I'm not your attorney. You're not part of the case. You didn't ask, and I volunteered that to you today, right?
Right.
So what I'm trying to say is we're not going to not work with you, but
You trying to have me set up
we're
here?
going to follow what the grammar code says. And if the law's changed, we'll follow the new law.
You trying to have me set up?
For what?
I mean, like why you brought them over here, and then you start talking about me using a alias, me using a freaking pseudonym name, which
I'll respect your
every-
privacy. Do you want to put the next part on camera or do you want to pause it? And I'll tell you exactly why people feel uncomfortable.
No, put the next part on camera. Yeah,
Okay.
Everything's public record, man. Everything's public record.
but now that your name's out there, people can Google you, right? And I don't know if you want me to say, well, here's what I found Googling. And
Go ahead.
we're just trying to secure the building and make sure we're okay.
Okay. All right.
But
So-
that has nothing to do.
So you actually, you want to believe the fake news and actually think, I would love for somebody to actually show one single shred of evidence of where I've ever been a threat, where I've ever, like people can say, where's the proof? It's all a bunch of lies. This thing was political. That's why I'm publishing this book. That's why I have a book coming out. It's an expose. It literally, you should read it. All right, because
I'm not opposed to reading it. I love reading.
It's the truth and it's backed by evidence. Okay.
And like I said, you didn't explain any of this to me. And when all I see is aggravated stalking, felony convictions, year in prison,
Okay,
suspended for,
but-
I don't know if that's true or not necessarily.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
But all I have to go off of is you gave me a false name.
So when did you this last time when I came in? So this is the third time that I've come in person over here to
Right.
Morgan. So this last time that I came in, that time when I saw you back in your office, you already knew I was Matthew Reardon then?
I didn't know the second time you came in either. It was after you posted the video, and then through your YouTube channel, it linked back to your real name. And that's what's like, okay, well, you were swearing, at people and yelling as they're leaving. Like I said, that's not a
Yeah.
First Amendment violation, but it
I
can
mean,
make people feel
But
uncomfortable.
But did you see what that son of a bitch did right there at the door?
No.
All I was and what they did back there, I was simply asking for the record clerk's name that made contact with me, that said everything that she said, and acted as rude as she did, and nobody wanted to give me your name. And then one of the employees in there said, "Hold on here, wait just a second, I'll go down there and try to find out." So instead of me just leaving, I'm standing here waiting, thinking, okay, she's going to go get the woman's name. Instead of that, she calls Darren, the sergeant, whatever the guy's name is. He comes down the hallway. It's like, I never did I wasn't acting irrationally or anything. I was waiting for a name, which I had every right to do. I was waiting for a name. I was told to wait here. And then he comes and tells me I need to leave, and is basically pushing me out of the door and slamming the door right in my face.
But also, you understood the building was closed at that point,
Okay, all
right?
somebody had to do was give me your name.
So that's true, but what's in a name? I mean, you use a pseudonym. Maybe she uses a pseudonym. Maybe she feels uncomfortable with
But
that.
you know,
I don't know
what the difference is?
what that is.
She's paid with public taxpayer dollars.
That's true.
You are too.
And
I'm
I don't-
not.
and I don't
There's
use a
certain
pseudonym.
But there's a certain accountability that y'all have, that the government has to private citizens, that private citizens don't have to the government. You know, it's
No
you know,
objection here.
I think here for quite a while it's been building and building where the government actually thinks that they control the people. You know, when actually it's really the other way around. It's the people that elect the government. And you have, like take this for example. I'm told that me coming in and asking questions is irrational. And you bring two freaking thugs with guns over here to the table when I'm talking to you about legal stuff.
We've
When I got
already-
a lawsuit out
We've
right
already
here on the
talked
table.
about that I didn't bring them over. They were here. They chose to come.
Yeah,
I
but
invited them to leave, and
who
they chose to leave.
But who invited him to the table? I mean,
He has
what
every
if-
right to be here that you do
Okay,
too.
what if somebody just came and opened your front door and came and sat down at your dinner table while you were having dinner with your family? Because I mean, honestly,
Is this your front door?
But-
and is
but-
this your dinner table?
but we're over here. You wanted to come and sit down here at the table and have a talk about this lawsuit, and
No, I didn't. I came here thinking you needed notarized
I
documents.
already said
and
I had a
I'm-
lawsuit, and
and
I
I'm
told you
offering
I
to-
told you in the demand letter yesterday, the email, that if I didn't,
I had
if-
a jury trial this morning. I can't keep up with everything all the time. It's not like I'm sitting waiting for your emails to come through. But what I am saying is I came here to help because you needed a notary. I'm a notary. So I was going to say, okay, what do you need notarized?
Yeah,
well, I
you're
can't
not gonna be
notarize a document that you're suing the county that I represent.
I know.
That's a conflict. So you'll have to get it notarized, but I know the bank, like try the bank, but I've got a conflict. I can't notarize
I
it.
know. Yeah,
Okay.
you can. But
Right.
but somebody, the lady I was talking to right there in planning and development, she already said she's a notary.
Right.
She came over there and she went to go ask a question. I guess that's probably when you got notified. And I just want her to notarize my thing. She can do it. She's a notary.
Right. Well, I think she wasn't sure if there was a question about the AKA or whatever.
Okay, well,
Right,
and there shouldn't be, because there's actually, and I'll show you what I showed her. Now this is all fucking out of order. But
Is it under the bottom of this one, maybe?
it is, so it's...
You don't need to. Since you got the camera. Okay, let's see. Is this a second? Oh, there's probably multiple.
So no,
copies,
there's
right?
no. So there's actually, that's all getting filed. So if you look at it,
So where do you need it signed, I guess?
I'll show you this. So
From you. I can hold that if you need.
So right here, the verification gets into it at the end of this
Okay.
petition. So that's the first part where it names it, and then it goes further after the verification. And I've got it is master order declaration of identity. So
This one, okay.
that right there is to be sworn under penalty of perjury that I'm saying I am Matthew Reardon. I'm basically publicly burning my alias basically to do this, which that kind of already happened because of Leighton. But yeah, I'm not trying to. Like I said, I have every reason to use one. If anybody has a reason to use one, it's certainly me. And I'm not, that right there shows I'm not trying to file any court documents that have
And then just, let's see.
yeah.
Well, they'll just have to update it, whichever one it is. This one says Maureen, this one says Davis, but I think they can just update that. That's fine. Cross it out. All right.
You bring your A game, I'll bring my A game. We'll see how this one turns out, man.
I mean, I'm glad that you didn't walk out. It's nice to get to the meat of it, right? So.
I mean, like I said, I still have to get it, officially served. But I mean, you're going to see it anyways. I might as well go ahead and show it to you.
Yeah.
And just so you know, I'm definitely going to be amending this. This is just to get the process started. But I'm going to do an amendment to actually, take it down the avenue of a constitutional challenge under chilling rights under the First Amendment. And I think that what happened today is even more, strong evidence to back up the fact that the system is broken the way it is under the Graham laws, and it needs to be constitutionally challenged under the First Amendment and dismantled under those parts where it's doing a chilling effect.
Well, I think that, like I said, if you get the grandma statute changed, then I'll follow the new grandma statute.
But
right? I don't have an argument with you.
I don't even need to change it as it reads right now. Okay, I've provided a mailing address. The reason y'all denied my grandma request was because I did not. I gave an email address and not a mailing address.
Right.
I first gave some pushback and said, you know what? I don't want to give a mailing address because I shouldn't have to. Then thought about it. Well, I got the PO box. Okay, so I will provide the PO box. That is a mailing address. The law, the statute reads that it's got to be a mailing address. So when Matt Wilson said that a PO box does not count as a mailing address, please show me a judge that's actually going to say that.
I don't know
There's no
when he
judge
said
that's
that.
actually going to actually side with
What I believe I recall Matt told me was he would defer to me to handle it, right? Because he's the CAO for grandma, but it's not like he's dealing with it all the time.
Right.
And so he relies on me and my advice for that. So what I recall is he was going to defer to me. You came to my office and I said, hey, yeah, send me the PO box. I responded and said, hey, I've sent this down, right? Then at some point
at that
after,
point, you got to get on their ass and say, well, why haven't y'all sent this? We just got a legal demand letter. If you got the records, go ahead and send them over there. I mean, that's what you should have done.
well, I mean, it's almost to your benefit that they didn't go out because it's a Class B misdemeanor to use false pretenses to get a protected record.
No, it's not.
It is. It's
I'm
under the
telling you,
Grama statute,
no,
it is.
it's not, Garrett, because I didn't sign. First of all, there's nothing on your form, and second of all, there's not a signature spot. In order for that to actually stick, you cannot. Come on, please tell me you're not that wet behind the ears, Garrett. If I'm not signing a different name, you can't criminally charge me with it. You can't do it. I mean, you might get a
Well-
Morgan, because y'all are in bed with the Morgan judges, or there's Morgan judge, okay? You might float something through right there, but I mean, it's not going to stick. Because
Well, I
there's no
guess
signature
we'll
line.
see. But at the end of the day, I'm saying what I told you was send me the mailing address. You told me today it was wrong. You corrected it, which is fine. Maybe you could do that in writing, just so we've got it.
But you're saying that my time is going to start over like it was the 17th of April, like I was just turning it in for the first time.
Well,
in
just
these 2
fill
weeks of
out
time.
what's required under the Grama, right?
Y'all should have
your
these
name.
records anyways. I mean,
Right.
we've been around and around and around on this thing. Why don't y'all have the records now? Why don't I
We
fill it
didn't
out
get-
right now and
we
y'all just go
don't-
ahead and give me the records?
Because we don't go and get the records without a complete Grama request. I'm the one that sent Kylie the statute, right? She sent it down to me. She's like, hey, should I go for it? I read it. I send her the statute. Doesn't have the address. I'm like, well, just let them know. Got to provide what's required by the statute. Then, I mean, this is the first time today that you're telling me your name isn't Don.
I can't believe y'all are that nitpicky. But see, I can't say that I'm surprised, man, because this was another reason that brought me here to investigate into, and
But we've already,
and
we're
the
having the same
policy,
discussions,
because
Don,
I'm
right?
not the first person that's been denied grandma records, and I'm not, it's what it's shaping out to be is a policy and practice, and that's where it gets into sticky, terrain, is whenever it shapes up. If it was just a one-time occurrence, that would be one thing. But when it shapes out to be a policy and practice of the county to deny records, and there's other people coming forward with the same thing.
It's not to deny records, it's to deny protected records.
But do you not
And so,
think the people, the
Hey, Don,
taxpayers have a
let me-
right to, like
you're not a taxpayer in Morgan County, but let me go into this because it's ironic, right? It's the same discussion we had in my office hallway. The very case that brought you here is the very reason that we don't release protected information. The video that you saw was manipulated and changed. It was redacted. And yet, had we released it to Mr. Grover, unredacted, he would have put everyone's name on the internet. People are already trying to dox the victim in that case,
Oh, yeah,
the caller,
but
right?
you have
So,
but you have to show where he had an intent to do it. Like, do you have anything
well,
saying
when he
where he's
manipulates the
actually-
camera to assign racial comments to an officer, which were not to the
So-
officer,
so-
then
so-
that's intent
so the
to
officer-
deceive the viewers.
So the officer didn't say those racist things, so
No.
he actually put that in there and said
Mhm.
that?
Yeah, and so, but once again, okay, I'm not gonna go down, we already talked about that, I'm not gonna go talk about that case. It's still pending. Let's let it go through the system. You're with the media, you know that I can't talk about that case, so let's not go down that road. But it is
No, we
ironic
shouldn't be
that
going
what
down
brings
this
you
road,
here
Garrett.
is exactly the things that you've suffered with the government, and we're trying to protect it from happening to people
But you're
by
making it
protecting their
worse.
information.
You're taking somebody that literally, you just said how, and which I'm honestly, I'm glad you did, because that just shows for the tortfeasors back in Mississippi that did what they did, all the more damages that was created is what you just literally said. That adds to the damages. Okay,
What,
but it's not.
okay,
it's
explain
not-
that
it's
to me.
not-
I don't
it's not
understand what
fair.
you're saying.
I'm saying.
To damages
all
in your case,
I'm
or
saying for all the wrongdoers back in Mississippi that have created this fucking hell that I'm living in right now, that I've never deserved, Okay, it was a political setup that they have literally covered one thing up after another to indemnify themselves, to kind of get themselves out of one jam. It's been 8 years of fucking hell, and then I come over here and I'm told, oh, you're Matthew Reardon, and we did this, and this because we thought that you might be a threat coming into the building because of because of a false narrative. Okay, it was a false narrative.
But you got to remember that we don't know that.
Okay, well, you know what?
All we know is you provided a false name.
But what's innocent until proven guilty. What's funny is, Leighton did the same thing. Yeah, you didn't know that, but you also didn't do your damn your homework. Just like Riley Richards with Leighton PD, he just took something that a captain back in Oxford, Mississippi had sent him, false information and my address, and decided to immediately send that out to 139 law enforcement officers. Okay, well, I hear the same thing. Well, I didn't know this. Well, you didn't do your homework either. Okay, and then I'm the one that has to take the beating over and over and over. It's not enough that literally a wrecking ball got taken to my life. It's not enough that I was forcefully separated from my children, banished from a county in order to truly, slide by and not have to worry about the ceiling coming crashing down as far as the corruption getting popped, but forcefully separated from my family, from my kids. I don't get to even, experience them growing up. I come out here, and I can't even catch a break out here without those people literally following me wherever I go, dox my information out. When they know that they're really the guilty ones all along, they're trying to save face, they're trying to make sure that the walls don't come crashing down on you.
So at the end of the day, I don't know how I would do my research the way that you want me to, because I don't see that narrative out there. I'm glad you shared it with me because it gives me your narrative.
Yeah, but you know what?
I don't see that until you tell me.
But
Right?
you've got my website, right? So if you had enough sense to go and look at YouTube, and you've seen the videos on YouTube, so that means you've also seen you had to have seen my website. You got the email address, don@wtpnews.org. I mean, that's a common thing. I would want to go look at wtpnews.org and we see what the content is on there. And if you actually did that, you would have seen, literally, it's not just my word. My articles are backed with evidence. Here's the evidence backing everything. So no, honestly, that's not an excuse that you didn't know, that you didn't, because you had my website, and that was more accessible than going and finding Matthew Reardon on YouTube.
So what would you like to do today? Because part of why I can't just research all the time is because I have jury trials like I had this morning. I have other duties. So what do you want to do today?
Have you looked at that information on Green yet?
On Green?
Yeah.
No, I haven't looked at Green.
Look, I know you said you got trials, man, but that's a serious concern. All it takes is you can send an email and try to and get that stuff, man. It's not like you're having to spend time waiting. Send an email out. Find out what's going on with the Green situation. This is now the second time that I've come back and you told me, no, you haven't even looked him up. But here are articles online about him resigning in a cloud of dishonor or whatever. I can't remember how.
So is that fake news or not? I mean,
No.
we can't pick and choose, right?
No,
like
these
you're
are
saying
actual-
that
these are-
anything about you, the negative is fake news. Anything about him is
so,
real news.
So is that how we're going to do it? We're going to believe all the news
No.
rumors about me, but then when it's
No,
about
I'm
somebody
just
else,
saying what's good for the goose is good for the gander.
Okay, well let me
And
see
so,
some. Let me
let
see
me-
some type of
Why don't we
relief on
get
that.
this done? Why don't we get this done? Right? If there's a record, you can grandma it. That's how records work.
Can I get her to
We're not-
notarize this?
Well, I can go ask her
Because
to.
what I want to do is this.
You know,
I want to file a lawsuit.
Okay.
If y'all come with the records, okay, and you come with it in a quick enough time, then I'll probably drop a lawsuit. Okay, but that all depends on y'all, because y'all have been given ample opportunities here to produce stuff.
Okay, so are you going to submit a grammar request with your name, your corrected address?
Yeah, I mean, it's got it on the freaking lawsuit right there. So
But that's not a grammar request. That's a
no, I know
lawsuit.
that. But obviously, if I'm gonna turn in a lawsuit, okay, then obviously at this
So-
point, I'll just go ahead and put it on a grammar request. Might as well.
Yeah, might as well. So I'm not going to ask someone in the building to notarize, someone who's employed by the county to notarize a document suing the county. But I do know that there are notaries at the bank, just right down the road. I will walk over there with you if you want me to ask someone over there to notarize it.
But anybody else coming into here to the courts can get documents notarized at no cost. And so you're telling me that
I will pay the bank. If you want me to pay the bank, I will pay the bank.
I do.
Okay, let's go
Because
over
that's-
there and I'll pay the
because
bank.
that's the thing, because I wanted to get the same treatment as anybody else coming in here. I shouldn't have to pay for something that other people can get.
Totally
for free.
agree. But if someone asked me about notarizing a document to sue the county, I would give them the same advice. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, but
But if you want me to walk over to the bank with you, I'll go with you right now and I'll pay the fee, the notary
yeah,
fee.
because I ain't got no cash on me.
I don't have cash either, but I'm sure I could make something work.
You're the big dog attorney over here.
I'm the only attorney. I'm the elected attorney. I've got a deputy.
How much they pay you a year?
It's like 66 an hour, whatever that
66 an hour.
turned out to be. So
All right, that's yeah.
it's like
40 hour
one-
week is like.
I think it's like 136 or something, like, or maybe 132. It's somewhere in there.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't have it in front of me. I could go look it up, and there's a grammar. I mean, there's a record that shows exactly what I make. I don't know
I
though.
know this.
I'm like, it's somewhere around there.
That's why because I'll commonly ask public employees that question, because it's as easy as making a grammar request, a public record request. To get
And I didn't
that
have to
smart
answer
code.
that question necessarily either,
You
because
didn't, but I just
I'm
wanted to
trying to
see how
show some good
cooperative.
faith,
I wanted
and
to
I
see-
want to show you
Well-
that, hey, I'll go pay for your notary. Like, I'm not against you.
I mean, I didn't want to have to like pull out the black gloves and put the black gloves on, because we got somebody being uncooperative there, Gary.
True. So, but is it fair to say you understand where I'm coming from with not having a county employee notarize a lawsuit against the county? You're good with that?
Yeah, but if the county will at least pay to get this.
The county is not paying. I am paying.
Yeah.
Me personally, I'm going to pay for your notary. The county is not paying for you to sue the county or to notarize a document for you to sue the county.
But the county is ultimately paying whenever I file the lawsuit, because this could have been resolved so easily without me having to do it. And instead, I'm going to skate by for free, not having to pay any filing fees, and the county's going to have to defend it. And so really, no matter
And
what,
I don't want to go down that path. But if you fill out a grammar request with what's required by the statute, but if you want to challenge the statute, then I think you would probably not fill out the grammar request with all the information because you want to challenge it, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that choice is yours, whether to sue the county. That's not mine. I'm just telling you my position is, if we don't have a complete grammar request, we deny it because it doesn't meet the statutory requirements. Fair?
Fair.
I mean, okay. So, is that what you want to do now? I got to go back to my office and grab my wallet. Do you want to head over to the... Okay,
Yes, sir.
you go ahead. Pull your stuff together.
And like I said,
I'll go grab my wallet.
I have
We'll
no
head to
problem
the-
if y'all can come on with the records. I have no problem,
I'm
but
not
I feel
going
like
to do
I
it
have to
until
do
you
this.
submit a grammar request that meets the statutory requirements.
Then can I go ahead and get a grammar request form, please? sir?
Yes, you can go grab it. So what do you think? Do you want to fill that out now and wait on the notary?
Well,
Or do you want to go get the notary done? I would prefer you fill it out. Let's see if we resolve it. If not, we get the notary and we go
I
from
didn't
there.
get an email back yesterday, man, and it's been delayed.
I told you I was in a jury trial this morning.
get
I
it,
don't.
man.
I sleep. I'm
I
not up
get
all the
it,
time. I
but-
gotta sleep sometime.
But Morgan County hasn't exactly shown me a whole lot of good faith when it comes to this, and
But I would argue the same thing back. You didn't provide your name. You didn't fill out what was required
no,
by
I did
statute
provide
with your
my
mailing
name.
address.
I did provide my name.
You
Because
provided
that's
a name.
but that's not a random name. That is actually there's a legitimate purpose behind that name, and I have, like I said, I mean, I've got the federal lawsuit that's
I'll
currently
email
pending
you-
to back it up.
Well, I'll email you the grandma code where it talks about getting protected records under false pretenses. I'm glad we didn't release anything to you. I don't want there to be a potential of Class B misdemeanor or anything, right? We don't need to go down that path. But there's rules to follow. If you follow the rules, then I'll follow the rules.
Y'all got sound now? They said I'm muted. Somehow it's muted. So
Are
I
you
took
streaming or
Are
you streaming or is someone just
Well,
watching
no,
it?
yeah. So I honestly, when the cops came out here and sat down, man, like I had to do what I had to do because so I was not streaming at first, but then I got feeling very uncomfortable because he sat down right here in the chair and took his body cam out and set it on the table, and he's recording the conversation here uninvited at a table where, honestly, I couldn't think of anything much more disrespectful than that. Like already, I have a bad problem with a lot of law enforcement officers have abused their power, abused their badge, and then here you have somebody that thinks that they're too good and can just walk over to a table where two grown men are sitting down talking about a lawsuit spread out on the table, and thinks he can pull the chair out, put his body cam out on the damn table right there, and just kick back and listen to the conversation like somebody invited him in.
And I get where you're coming from, but this is the atrium of the county building, and people have been in and out. Like anyone can come here. There's no protected information that can be gathered. There's nothing to that. And so, like I understand why you feel the way that you feel. But
yeah.
I don't think that it's illegal for anyone to come and sit at a public table. Now, if we're meeting in a private area with a closed door, okay, they're not
I get it.
invited and they can't come in.
I get it. Privacy is something that has to be created, so I can't get upset if I'm out in the public. But the thing is, you asked me for this conversation out here. I was I was trying to get something notarized, and I already have a lot of trust issues when it comes to police. I'm already investigating into something with one of your officers that has a past at falsifying records. And so, then we have, when I'm talking about that subject right there, then we have his freaking officers come and sit down here at the table, and I'm not supposed to take it as that was a form of intimidation. Man, come on, they know what the drama requires. I mean, I'm sure that by this time it's been 11 business days. Okay, so every business day, I mean, they're having the opportunity of being told that their deputy Green, that a journalist is digging in for information because of stuff with his past. Okay, but see, I don't know.
I appreciate you talking to me, Don. I feel like the same I felt last time is we're not fighting about anything really. I mean, I think I understand where you're coming from. You understand where I'm coming from. If we can avoid having to go down this path, great. But if you want to challenge the statute, I don't see how else. You're not going to do it by filling out the grammar request where I apply the current statute.
I know that, but if you do actually if you care about the truth, read my book and you'll see exactly why I got trust issues and why, honestly, when I was sitting here, why I started that live stream, because if it can happen, it will happen. The stuff that I've put nothing. I found court records that were fraudulently changed in circuit court over in Mississippi happened twice in a year and a half's time. On both of my cases, where the random algorithm that assigned the judge on the case, how it selected one judge, and then all of a sudden, judges, no recusal, nothing. It just flipped in the system to a different designated judge. And I go in trying to find out how that could have changed, who could have changed it. I get 5150'd, sent to a state hospital facility because the sheriff, who is ultimately behind all of that, it was an appeal where him and his deputies lied in justice court. He goes and tells the mental health provider that I'm going out in public recording, that I'm paranoid and delusional, that I'm provoking people with my minor child, not taking medication and not seeking medical help. I had no diagnosis, no medication. I'm a journalist, so reporting out in public is a key function of my job, okay? And then provoking, nobody's ever shown me anything where I've ever provoked anybody with my minor child. The whole thing was shams. They sent me to a state hospital to cover up, to get rid of them, to silence what was asking questions, to silence dissent. And it's been 8 years of pattern and practice over in Mississippi of silencing dissent and saying, fuck the First Amendment. So, the ferocious, tenacious journalist that's here today, that's requesting records, that expects transparency, they can be 100% to blame for creating that monster. Because if this stuff happened to you, you'd want to get to the truth, and you'd want everybody to know the truth as well.
I mean, it's compelling. So
I can't even get
online, or
it's not even published yet. It was supposed to publish April 15th. That's what I was shooting for, and ran into a couple of snags.
So it's not quite out
It's
yet.
basically done. Yeah, the manuscript's about 75,000 words right now. It's 260 something pages, 8.5 by 11. Just needs to be shrunk down.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I've lived in Mississippi, so it's interesting for me to read just the connections and based on what you told me. So
it's
I'm not opposed to reading it, but
it's hell, man.
I don't know when it's coming out either. So
it's hell. But just honestly, give it a chance to read it whenever it does, man. And I'm giving out a free ebook online because I don't want people not knowing who I am or not having the money. I don't want that to be a reason for them not to know the truth.
No.
And so, free ebook, selling paperbacks, selling audiobooks. But,
Okay.
but yeah.
Are you reading the audiobook?
Yeah.
Cool. That's always best.
It
When the
is.
author
I mean,
reads it.
I
And then
tried
you get
to
all
use-
of the inflections, you get all the insights that you want to have there.
I tried to use AI to read it, and I wish, honestly, I could clone my voice well enough to where it was actually like I could just put it all in on text, and it just do it all easy. So there wasn't any stumbling, having to go in and do like audio editing. Because honestly, when I take the book as it is right now and I put it into a reader app like 11 Labs or what's the other reader, it tells me even at 1.1% or 1.1 times, so a little bit faster than just normal speed, 6.5 hours to read it from start to finish. I mean, that's it's going to take a while to do that. But I need to do it.
Okay. Well, I mean, we've talked about a lot of stuff. I've tried to tell you my thought on the process and tried to be transparent with where I'm at, what I expect, what I give recommendations in the county. I appreciate you giving me some feedback from, or just some background of who you are, and that's helpful for me to understand.
I just don't like it when people take somebody's word, especially. I mean, of course they're going to say what they're going to say. They don't want to. Just ask them to show one lick of proof. Besides, a guilty plea, because I'll tell you another thing, and this is one of the things I would sure love, like hell, to take all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court. I believe if the state denies a defendant all key aspects of due process and extracts a plea, I believe that plea should be looked at under the poisonous tree doctrine, the fruit of the poisonous tree doctrine, because I believe that it's illegally tainted evidence that it can't be relied upon when due process was denied in the first place. How can you? Because if we're truly living in a system that's supposed to be innocent until proven guilty, and then you take somebody into custody, and obviously they haven't gone to trial, so they should be, it should be like a innocence until proven guilty, but we know that's not the case. It's I just freaking blanked the fuck out.
You're fine. I mean, I'm listening.
I mean,
I'm like,
oh, yeah,
wait a
it's-
second.
it's-
Like, I guess if there was evidence that came because of a violation of a right, then you can suppress that evidence. I don't see
Right.
it as fruit of the poisonous tree if it's
But-
something that's entered into willingly to
Okay.
say, I'm taking advantage of a negotiation.
But all right, but if that person was denied or was never given a preliminary hearing, and
Yeah,
they, and
I
they
agree
wanted
with you
one, and if they were also given a no bond, bond was either set in an outrageous amount or there was no bond at all. Like in my case, I was 2022. I walked into City Hall as a journalist. I was going to make a public records request. This fraudulent restraining order. The website will show you how it's fraudulent. They never paid a deposit, and plus it all relied on lies. Like not one thing in that restraining order. I can now debunk everything as completely fabricated. I have police reports backing that up. It was all a way to keep me from speaking out at City Hall on the day of the mayor's election. I was on the city minutes to address City Hall and speak out in dissent on the day of her election, and they used this restraining order to keep me from going and speaking at City Hall. This restraining order was still in place 5 years later. It was taken out without any hearing or anything like that. I was served the order, and they put this even more bizarre charge against me. So I was stuck in a jail jumpsuit, and a crooked attorney said, "Hey, look, if you go ahead and sign off on this order, this permanent restraining order, it'll make this felony charge go away, and you'll be able to get out of jail and go back to your family and all that." I took his word, and that was all a lie. I sat in jail another 2 months, and so that should have never even been allowed to stand.
So that was your defense attorney that
Yeah.
told you to do that.
But here I am going into City Hall to make a public records request. I never asked for the mayor, never saw the mayor, anything. And they used that 5-year-old restraining order to say that just because of my presence in City Hall, that it constituted a charge of aggravated stalking. Are you fucking kidding me? Like I'm over there making I want to make a public records request. This is the heart of the city, City Hall, and you're going to charge me with aggravated stalking because of that, and because of 5 Twitter tweets a year ago that were during election time that were counter to her policy. It is the epitome of prior restraint. I've experienced it all: prior restraint, viewpoint discretion, or discrimination. It's you have to know the truth, man. You cannot just, and I've learned that the hard way. Okay, that's why I do the digging that I do, because I don't take anybody just straight at the word. Can't. All right. And honestly, if I did, look at the liability that would create. I would be open to defamation suits, libel, slander, all that. No, I want to actually get the tangible evidence. I want the documents, man, and that's the thing. I'm not gonna go out there and say something about somebody without having something in my hand, because you don't want to get sued.
Well,
you don't want to be the next Leighton that doxes information out without actually checking it, and now you got 139 officers that are on that complaint as well, because
then I'll
they
say,
disseminated it out further.
You're believing Mr. Grover's YouTube video to a degree, right? Without the facts backing it up, right? Or the other insight. So, like I said, let's at least be consistent. I always say, I've said it a few times a day, what's good for the goose, good for the gander. I think you've given some great advice. Hopefully I can take my own advice, you can take yours, and like I said, I think we can work it out. If you have, I am a notary. If you've got a notary thing that's not associated with the county, come to my office. I will notarize it for you. If you've got something, if you end up filing these, do it at the bank, do it somewhere else, not in the county building. If you end up filling out the grammar request, then, let's move it forward that way too. I think that we're in agreement that there's a path forward, right?
Yeah, I just, the thing is, I didn't want to have to take the time to prepare all these and then go and get them printed out and then drive them up here. And, I still am not leaving with the record. So I definitely need to get these filed today. And like I said, I can always withdraw my complaint.
Okay.
But I don't want to come over here, take all this time to come over here and then nothing.
4 o'clock.
It's 4 o'clock.
Okay.
Take me 5 minutes to fill this out, and hey, it's up to you, man. I mean, I know y'all close this at 4:30 or 5.
At 5.
So, does your schedule work better right now to go across the street, or do you want me to fill this out?
Let's go right now,
Okay.
because I do have an obligation this evening.
Yeah.
Technically starts at 4, but let's go get that taken care of first.
I appreciate it.
Okay. I'm gonna run to my office, grab my wallet,
All right.
and I'll meet you in just a minute.
Hey, what's up, guys? Give me 1 second.
All right, you ready?
You know what really sucks, man?
What's that?
It's the fact that, because of all this shit that's happened, I can't even, I've gotten, I got an impeccable resume, and I can't even get a damn $16 an hour job down here because people run a background check and they don't want to, it's all binary. Is it there? Is it not? They don't care to actually know the facts about what happened. And then people want to talk about the prison recidivism rate. Well, you know what? This country has a problem of looking at somebody, even if the stuff was true, this country has a problem with looking at somebody as what they did in the past defines what they do in the future. And that has got to change.
Well, the way I see it is, because I'm a prosecutor,
I know you are.
and I'm not trying to punish people for their character, it's for their conduct.
Right. They
Now,
shouldn't be
a lot
punished
of
for
people
life.
can't distinguish character from conduct, right? Like sometimes they think the conduct determines character. Sometimes maybe your character makes you engage in certain conducts. But that doesn't mean that your conduct in a moment in time defines you forever.
Right.
So I'm on board with you, but I mean, there's still a process and there's still a duty to uphold the law, right? So it's a balance. You got to find that balance.
Right. Yeah, it shouldn't hang over somebody's head for the rest of their life. That's honestly what, you as a prosecutor, you should want somebody to feel the punishment, to deter them in the future. But if they're marked for the rest of their life, do you not think that you stand a better chance of seeing that person back? Because if they have all opportunities taken away from them, and they're left with nothing else but taking penitentiary chances to support themselves and their family, If nobody else gives them a chance, I mean, what else are they going to do? To get
I agree. My favorite days in court are when we successfully terminate probation and hear a good report of how things have turned around. So
right.
I'm in agreement with you.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have ever let these damn documents get so scattered out on the table.
Oh, you're fine.
And actually, what's good is I've got a fresh copy right there that's in order.
Okay.
All right. So
Sounds
that
good.
that
Let's
makes
take that one
everything.
over to the bank. Then.
That's what I was going to do.
Okay.
All right.
So it's just you've seen it, right?
Yep.
Just down this way.
Oh, Garrett.
Hey, Judge. Yeah. I'll come talk to you. I'm gonna run.
Okay. We just need to find out where that physical evidence is.
Oh, okay.
It needs to be stored.
Got it. Okay. Sounds good. Yep. I'll chat with them. Thanks. Okay. All right. So why Utah?
Well, I just wanted to get away from Mississippi, which was a hard decision in one way. In another way, it was the easiest because it's at some point you realize that nothing's going to change. It's going to steadily running around in circles, and it sucks not being able to see my kids every day. But I needed to come out here. I had a friend that lived out here in this area, and honestly, I'm already tired of it. I hate the state already. It's not. It's a strong word to use. I'm not going to say it. I love.
See, that's what's up.
I love the views. I love looking at the mountains. Okay.
Have you been southern Utah? I've heard someone he was a traveling salesman? I can't remember, but he said if I had to travel in one state and I couldn't go anywhere else for a year, I'd probably do Utah because it's got a lot of diversity of.
Well, and everything's not. You got Las Vegas. That's what, 6 hours away.
You must be a fast driver. I think it's 7 for me.
Oh yeah, I mean I would probably make it in about 5.
Okay.
And I don't play around when it comes to long trips. I want to get there, and but no.
I like enjoying the scenery too, though. Not rush it too much,
Turn my radar detector on, make it, link it up with Bluetooth, kind of see further out on the map It's been a long time since I've got this feeling.
That's good.
Because I really don't do.
You don't speed too much then.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll cross here on the block. Here, just make sure they're gonna stop. There's a credit union there too, but I'm pretty sure they notarize you.
Yeah, like I said, man. I mean, look, this is just simply because I'm a man of my word, and I said, how would I look if I basically threw that out there, legal demand out there, and then didn't comply, and then I didn't actually follow through with it. That would be, it would be counterproductive to me. And like I said, I don't want to have to do this. So all y'all have to do is just, but don't make me wait till the end of this 5 days, man, after I've waited this long.
Well, I told you what I expect from my perspective. So,
I know.
I mean, that's up to you too if you want to fill out a complete request. So. All right. Oh, do you guys have a notary? Potentially. and I am here to pay for that if it's needed. I am. Mr. Reardon is not. And he's the one that needs the documents.
And it's because I can't get it notarized over there at City Hall, or the
County building, because it's a lawsuit against the county. I'm the county attorney. And so I've said I don't want our employees to notarize a lawsuit against us, so that's why we're here. Yes.
I know, right?
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Well, yeah, and honestly, if you can just get the thumbs up, so she'll do it.
Yeah, she's just.
So then, if you got stuff, you got to get.
Well, if there's a payment or whatever.
Oh yeah.
I got you. You don't. Okay. All right. Well, sounds good, Matthew. We'll be in touch, I'm sure.
Sir,
Okay.
I'll get the. I'll go ahead and work on the agreement request.
Okay. Sounds good.
Thank you, Garrett.
So much. Okay.
All right, so
Sounds
that
good.
that
Let's
makes
take that one
everything-
over to the bank then.
That's what I was gonna do.
Okay.
All right.
So it's just you've seen it, right?
Yep.
Just down this way.
Oh, Garrett.
Hey, Judge. Yeah. I'll come talk to you. I'm gonna run.
Okay,
Um,
we just need to find out where that physical evidence is.
oh, okay.
It needs to be stored.
Got it. Okay. Sounds good. Yep. I'll
Okay.
chat with them. Thanks. Okay. All right. So why Utah?
Well, I just wanted to get away from Mississippi, which was a hard decision in one way, and in another way it was the easiest because, it's at some point you realize that nothing's going to change. You're steadily running around in circles, and it sucks not being able to see my kids every day, but I needed to come out here. I had a friend that lived out here in this area, and honestly, I'm already tired of it, man. I hate this damn state already. It's not. It's a strong word to use. I'm not gonna say I hate this. No, I love.
Your state has its ups and downs.
What I love is I love the views. I love looking at the mountains. Okay.
Have you been southern Utah? I've heard someone he was he a traveling salesman? I can't remember, but he said if I had to travel in one state and I couldn't go anywhere else for a year, I'd probably do Utah because it's got a lot of diversity of.
Well, and everything's not. You got Las Vegas. That's about 6 hours away.
You must be a fast driver. I think it's 7 for me.
Oh yeah. I mean, I would probably make it in about 5.
Okay.
And I don't play around when it comes to long trips like that. I want to get there, and but no, it's.
I like enjoying the scenery too, though. I do. Not rush it too much,
Turn my radar detector on, make it, link it up with the Bluetooth, kind of see further out on the map where it's been a long time since I've got this feeling.
That's good.
Because I really don't do.
You don't speed too much then.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll cross here on the block. Here, just make sure they're gonna stop. There's a credit union there too, but I'm pretty sure they notarize you.
Yeah, like I said, man. I mean, look, this is just simply because I'm a man of my word, and I said, how would I look if I basically threw that out there, legal demand out there, and then y'all didn't comply, and then I didn't actually follow through with it. That would be, it would be counterproductive to me. And like I said, I don't want to have to do this. So all y'all have to do is just, but don't make me wait till the end of this 5 days, man, after I've waited this long.
Well, I told you what I expect from my perspective. So,
I know.
I mean, that's up to you too. If you want to fill out a complete request. So. All right. Oh, do you guys have a notary? Potentially, and I am here to pay for that if it's needed. I am. Mr. Reardon is not. And he's the one that needs the documents.
And it's because I can't get it notarized over there at City Hall, or the
County building, because it's a lawsuit against the county. I'm the county attorney. And so I've said I don't want our employees to notarize a lawsuit against us, so that's why we're here. Yes. Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Well, yeah, and honestly, if you could just get the thumbs up, so she'll do it.
Yeah, she's just.
So then, if you got stuff, you got to get.
Well, if there's a payment or whatever.
Oh yeah. I got you.
You don't. No. Okay. All right. Well, sounds good, Matthew. We'll be in touch, I'm sure.
Sir,
So,
I'll go ahead and work on the agreement request.
Okay. Sounds good.
Thank you, Garrett.
So much.
You have somewhere to sit down.
Yeah, so she's gonna be in that office right there.
Right here?
Take a seat here.
Okay.
Or you can take a seat right there.
I'll out here until she comes in. I don't want to. I started this thing back at the county building, and I don't want to. I'm not trying to get any personal, private stuff. Well, yeah, if that would be, I respect that you have an office right there, and I appreciate you doing this. I told him he could go back. So as long as we have
his stuff.
Oh, okay. Well, then we need to catch him. Oh shoot, that was why. Yeah. Oh. Garrett! Damn it! What the hell? Shit! Garrett! I'm sorry, man. She came out and she was like, "Where'd he go? I need him for this." Yeah. I'm sorry, brother. No, so the lady that's going to do it, so she finished her cash drop or whatever, and she came out and she was like, "Well, where's Garrett at?" And I was like, "Well, I told him he could go back because they said that we're good." Oh. She said, "No, I need him to do something."
Okay. Well,
I'm sorry, it wasn't me. I mean, I tried. I was trying to.
that's okay. We'll make it work.
Yeah.
And I won't be back at the building. Like I said, I had a prior engagement that started at 4.
I'm sorry, man.
So we're just like 15 minutes late, but that's okay.
I'm sorry.
I'll make it. So, okay. So I'm Garrett Smith.
Okay, I'm in her account still, but how come I can't do another one? Oh.
She did not me, and I said, well,
I just thought 3 steps back. Yeah.
and so maybe it's I will cover your costs personally. Okay, I was just gonna say, like, it's not in my capacity.
You can't run that while you're here.
Okay.
Okay, you have to turn it off.
Well, could we do it out in the lobby? Because see, I started this thing back at the county building, and
I can't have the sound anything for security reasons.
Can he stick it in the out there?
Oh, absolutely.
So just
You
stick
can
it
store
in those doors, and then we'll come do it, and then come back. So just so you can see it. because you want to be in line of sight, right?
Yeah.
So I would put it maybe here where you can see it.
Hey guys, I'll be right back. I'm going to get this thing notarized.
Okay.
Here we go.
So he's a journalist.
I'm a
and
journalist.
He's wanting to.
I have a news site, and
Okay.
yeah.
So.
And does that have to do with the lawsuit?
Well,
I mean,
yeah, that's what
yeah.
he's.
Okay, all
So
right.
he's kind of been filming me, and we've been discussing, and then
Okay,
now we came over here,
okay.
and then.
All right, do you have your ID with you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, show me the document so I can see it.
Okay. So.
How many places are there to notarize? I know there were at least 2.
So yeah, there should be.
If you maybe you can just go to the
I
places
can do
so
that.
that she doesn't
Let's
have
just
to.
see what this is first before we.
Okay.
Okay, give me the gist of this.
So it's basically I'm trying to get documents. I was requesting public documents,
Okay.
and it's going to turn into a constitutional challenge if I
So
don't
you're just trying to
withdraw
get
it.
documents.
Yeah.
That's the reason for all of
In a
this.
Potentially
nutshell.
challenge the GRAMA statute that requires you to provide a name, a mailing address.
Because I'm gonna amend my petition. This is just to get it filed or get it started, and then I'm gonna come back probably. Well, and I may just withdraw it completely, as I told Garrett. But I can't leave empty-handed, and so I took the time
by
to.
empty-handed?
Basically, I took the time to prepare that, and we're basically 2 to 3 times past the limit yet, and I still don't have the.
We're a day past the limit.
No, it's 5 days.
Okay, so
under
all that, yeah, we don't care about that. So what you're doing here then is
And there
Well,
are a
I'm
few
petition.
places he has Davis, and so I would just say if you want to strike that.
do you live in Davis County?
I do.
Okay. Did you type this up or did somebody else?
No,
do
I
it for you?
typed it up, and I just it's
Okay.
I've got 8 years of law experience.
Okay.
It's steadily been building. So this would be I use a pseudonym, an alias name, Don Matthews. I'm an author and a journalist, and that's a common thing for.
So, why is it that you would use an alias in this legal document?
Well, because I've been gaslighted. I've had my private information doxed out to. Actually, I've got a federal civil rights lawsuit going on right now that's filed in Salt Lake City because 2 cities decided they were going to dox my information out. This is why I use an alias, why I use a pseudonym, because I don't want to get gaslighted and attacked for expecting transparency and requesting public documents.
Oh, okay. So you're going to take this back over to the court?
This is just going to get filed as it is and unsigned. This is basically the judge. It's a preferable way to have an order already prepped up for the judge if he grants it to go ahead and sign. I went ahead and prepped one. It's a proposed order, correct?
And I mean, I'll argue it's filed prematurely because it hasn't been briefed, but I mean,
Right.
at least it's there and blah blah blah.
At least it's there,
You're
exactly.
Okay. I don't care that it's not finished. So because all I'm doing is making sure that
You just know what document you're notarizing.
yeah. So
Yeah.
this has no notary with it.
Right.
So I think there's only these
There's
2
two,
documents. Okay. One is for the verified lawsuit,
Okay.
and then one is a verification of his identity because he uses Don Matthews
Yeah.
as a pseudonym or.
Oh, okay. So
Always
so
called
this
it an
one-
alias, and it was
alias.
pointed out to me that pseudonym is actually the
Alias
more
makes me-
formal
Alias makes me think of
criminal.
criminal.
Yeah.
Like pseudonym is if you're
Is like an
writing
author, yeah.
different names.
By the way, I'm coming out with a fictional series as well that's legal thrillers. I've got the banishment, the litigant, and the in the enterprise that I'm working on.
So this is,
Wow. Okay.
we've got declaration of identity, also known as, okay.
And that's the
So,
one.
Yeah.
This is for the petition file,
Yeah,
Okay.
the verified
and this is
petition.
just for the name. Okay,
That's
got it. All right.
And I could have
Thank you
sworn
so
I could have
much
sworn
for
there
your
was a
time.
third
This
one,
is
but
so
is that
helpful.
it? Is that it? There's not a third one.
No, there's not.
Okay,
I only
that's
recall
perfect.
the two, remember?
Well,
Over
there's
at my
places where
office.
you're
And I think
signed.
I'm thinking. I guess I'm thinking the informal paupers, and I didn't
that
put
doesn't
a.
require
Yeah, it doesn't
one.
require one, but I
Or
guess
at
I was
least they
thinking
didn't
that
have
it.
one, so.
Yeah.
Okay, have a seat.
Yes, ma'am.
Bring that over.
Oh, am I good to go now? Okay.
All right.
John, you're good if I go?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Garrett.
You're welcome. These don't have any dates on them yet, do they? Okay. Project document. Legal filing.
Yeah, it's a lawsuit.
What is it that you're trying to get from them? Oh, hold on.
Oh,
Take that one.
I'm trying
No,
to basically. So there's been a bit of a pattern and practice of them denying records to other people, and I'm a big stickler for transparency on public documents. I always get the documents that I am requesting, and
Is this your current address?
yes,
Okay.
and I basically, like I told Garrett on the way over here, I mean, I sent a legal demand letter, and they had until close of business yesterday to produce, because it was already, they were supposed to have 5 days to produce these because I'm a member of the press, and it's supposed to be
Are these
expedited.
documents for someone else?
No.
So what are you planning to do with them?
I was going to disseminate it out. I'm reporting on a story. So these are public documents that I was requesting.
That will be backup to a story you're doing.
That will, well, yes. So it's a deputy over there that resigned in dishonor from the Utah Highway Patrol for falsifying police reports, and he's now hired on out here in the county. And there's actually a current case going on that's very, very odd involving that officer, where it would appear that the same thing is happening again. And Garrett was not aware of it. He didn't know that this officer had been with Utah Highway Patrol and had been fired for falsifying records. And
Okay. So what you're saying then is they hired somebody they didn't know the background.
well, yeah, and then basically, I mean, I'm a man of my word. What kind of if I give a demand letter saying, this is already, it's well past due, and it's just one delay after another, what kind of message am I sending if I send a demand letter and then I don't deliver on it? That basically that makes me look weak in my position. I have to basically, one way or the other, I have to do something. I have to either file the lawsuit or get the documents. And I told him, I said,
What kind of documents do you want? Like proof that he's working there?
No, it's
Is it employment documents?
It's right here. Personnel records for Deputy Boots, Greens, and Jackless, to include disciplinary records. Number of arrests made by Deputy Green in 2023, 2024, and 2025. How many resulted in convictions? How many resulted in acquittals? I mean, it's a public interest story, and I think the public has a right to,
Do you do a lot of work up here?
So I moved up here actually back February 1st. Yeah.
How do you like it? I live in Layton. How do you like living here?
I live in Layton.
Do you?
I do.
I mean, I couldn't live up here. I enjoy the people and I enjoy working, but I couldn't live up here.
So I actually moved, and this is this is more of a wake up call. Okay, I moved from Mississippi, so I had never been out of the South my entire
the
life.
South has a lot in common with here. I lived in Baton Rouge, and there's a lot of small town in the South kind of, there's similarities with all of that.
Well, you don't have, and I know they exist, but I've never met a Mormon down south, you know, and it's very common up here in Utah, obviously.
It's so funny because when I lived in Baton Rouge, answered my door one day, and there was a Mormon missionary from Utah that literally lived like a mile from where it was just so odd. I'm like, wait, how did you end up here? It was like a whole circle thing. But
now, I always said if I had a sales company, I would love to hire a Mormon or a Jehovah's Witness, because, you know, if you can go out there, if you've got hard enough skin to go out there and sell religion door to door, then you can handle any type of rejection.
Proselyting is amazing. That is a talent that a lot of people, most people, I don't have that.
The rejections that they take on a daily basis, the door slams, all of that, and they're out there and they're doing it and not getting paid, and that's another part of it. You know, is part of their whole, you know, it's like a sabbatical or whatever. But they're going out there and they're not getting paid, and they're selling religion, and you know that takes a lot of dedication, and you know I think that they would make that would make a great sales agent.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, there's a lot of them that do the door-to-door in the South. The
Jehovah's Witnesses.
You know the energy things, the plate that they put on your roof. What is that?
Oh, solar panels.
Solar panels. A lot of the Mormons from Idaho and Utah go south and down to California and sell solar panels all summer long. They make really good money.
Sure.
So, do you work for someone?
So I have my own news site. I was going to tell you, WTPnews.org. If you write down that website address and check it out, I cover a lot of pieces around here, and it's my own site. I have a YouTube channel, We the People News.
How do you get paid?
So that's kind of the thing. So I mean, this is a brand new channel. It just got monetized. It only took it about a month to get monetized, but just like anything you see on TV, the ads, it's not really making much money. I got some monthly, you know, subscribers as well, which are kind of helping that out as far as income. But it takes a while to build. And see, the unfortunate thing is, I've got my first book publishing here within the next week or two. Actually, it was supposed to be out and published by April 15th, called American Injustice, detailing the last 8 years of hell that I've been through. Like literally, it was some of the most wretched public corruption stuff that
in Mississippi?
Yes, stuff that you would read out of a John Grisham novel that legitimately happened. I was supposed to speak at City Hall on the day of the mayor's election. I was a opponent of hers, and her and her husband took out a restraining order based on complete falsehoods. It was all fraudulent. They did that to bar me from speaking at City Hall on the day of the mayor's election. And all of that just snowballed into so much more because they got away with one thing after another. They had to cover one thing up after another until it's stuff that I found records changed, altered in circuit court, and I was trying to find out how these records could have gotten changed, who could have changed them. Happened twice within a year and a half's time, and I legitimately had the proof of it. It was black and white. So just for asking as a journalist how these records could have gotten changed, the sheriff goes and lies to the mental health provider in the area because I was ultimately appealing where him and his deputies lied on stand in court. He goes and tells the mental health providers that basically I've lost my mind, that they file an affidavit to commit me to a state hospital saying that I would go out in public places recording, that I was paranoid and delusional, that I provoked people with my minor child, not taking medication, not seeking medical help. but I had no diagnoses, no medication. I'm a journalist, so recording in public is a key function of my job. And yeah, so it's been one shocking thing after another, and it's destroyed my.
I wish you luck. I do. I hope it all works out for you.
Yeah, and I hope
People who are honest and just you're just trying to get by and be honest.
I just want people to know the truth, and I think that that's the problem is the truth has been suppressed so much, and if somebody doesn't take a stand and stand up, against something that's wrong, then what's our next generation going to have? Because if we cave on anything, and I'm a Marine Corps veteran, I swore a lifelong oath to protect and defend our Constitution, and if we cave and we bend on anything, then it gets eroded. I mean, it's already, they're going to have a tough enough time as it is. Whenever my kids, which are 6, 8, 3,
yeah. Well, I'm going to go finish what I was doing there, but I'm glad to help you. Here's this.
Thank you.
Don't lose driver's license there. And if you need anything else, feel free to come.
And what was your name?
My name's Cindy.
Cindy, nice to meet you, Cindy.
Nice to meet you.
Can I get a pen and a card, please?
There you go.
Awesome. And I wish I had my cards. I don't have them yet.
If you have any later, drop them by. Okay?
All right. Hey. All right. What's going on, guys? All right, so I got the lawsuit. I got the lawsuit notarized. Let's see. Oh. So now, I hope we got time. I know it's for something. So now I want to go and get that filed. They haven't taken off for the day. And that way I don't leave empty-handed. Because I wanted to leave with the documents. See, I wasn't going to leave without having the documents and without having this lawsuit. Because, I mean, something's got to give. Yeah. So, like, I was freaking appalled when I'm sitting down there at the table. Okay, I get it that privacy has to be created. Talk about that all the time as far as being 1A, like a 1A person. But to me, it crosses the line. It's extra. When I'm sitting down talking with the county attorney about the lawsuit, spread over the table, he starts talking about it's a crime to use my alias or to use my pseudonym name, which I have good reason to do. And then these officers come out and sit down at the table, takes his body camera off, which is recording, and faces it, puts it on top of the table. I got the documents spread out, and he's sitting there like he was invited to the party. Already don't trust police. Like, what the hell is 2 officers coming in and sitting down? Oh, by the way, so I don't know how long the audio is muted, but just I want you to know that I've got like 3 backup devices recording, and I will have a good version where the audio may have cut out. I'm looking for the district courtroom, or
The courtroom's down to your left.
or the clerk.
Down that way.
Second District Court. Okay, I see it. Thank you. Oh, son of a bitch. Oh, fuck. Damn it. Alright, let me call him. Alright, let me call him. Three, 9, 5.
Para español, presione el número 1. You may obtain court forms, view court calendars, make online payments, or find answers to many of your questions by visiting our court website at www.utcourts.gov. To submit filings or request copies of documents or audio recordings, please email your request to the to Weaver Morgan B at utcourts.gov email address. For other assistance, please listen to the following menu. For protective orders, stalking injunctions, press 2. For probate questions, press 3. For involuntary commitments, press 5. To be transferred to a specific judge or commissioner's team, please press 7. To repeat these options, please press 8 or stay on the line for further assistance.
Like, where's the option if you need help with filing something?
Please stay on the line while your call is transferred to the operator. District Court.
Yes, ma'am. I have something I need to file, and I've been here for a while. It just took me a while to get something notarized, and now y'all are closed up.
No, we're up until 5.
Well, the door was closed and locked. I'm in the lobby of the Morgan County Administrator Building.
Oh, okay. Morgan may be closed, so there's a Dropbox outside.
Yeah, this is an initial filing, so a Dropbox isn't going to work for me. I'm going to need, like, I need to file it. I need to get it. I need to get it stamped and get a copy of. Like, I don't want to just leave a brand new filing, a brand new lawsuit in a Dropbox.
Okay. And then I'm sorry, you just have to wait till Monday, or you could bring it down to Ogden.
Ogden. Okay. What's the address?
2525 Grant.
Okay. All right. You think I got time to make it there?
I don't know. My bet would be just file it on Monday.
All right. Can I file it in Ogden Monday instead of having to drive all the way back here to Morgan?
Well, they can't take care. The problem is the money.
So I've actually I'm requesting I've got a informal paupers. I'm requesting a waiver due to indigency.
Okay.
And I've got all that already filled out.
Okay, but are you not a resident of Morgan?
I'm a resident of Davis. But I have but I have standing here in Morgan.
Okay.
So it needs to be filed in the 2nd District. And so you were saying I could come to Ogden.
You can mail it in. You can mail it in, or you can email it.
So y'all will take an email?
Yes, sir.
Oh, sweet. Let me get that email address.
Took away my rights, so let me see if I can remember what it is. Okay, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, it's the number 2.
Okay.
Weaver.
2 what?
Morgan, just the number 2.
Uh-huh.
And then Weaver. Morgan.
Okay.
D as in David. At utcourts.gov.
Right. 2 Weaver Morgan D at utcourts.gov.
Correct.
All right. All right. I appreciate it.
Okay, have a good day.
You too, ma'am. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
All right. Stand by, folks. Oh. Ah, shit. I gotta make one more grammar request real quickly, guys. I'm just really in a pissed off fucking mood today. Like, this is just bullshit. Shouldn't have to deal with this. What's up, the Vigilance Committee? Got the fucking sheriff and the damn deputy. Motion to waive the fees. I will be definitely Sealing that. What's today, the second? I think it's the second. Hey, somebody give me the date. Be damn if I put another wrong thing on here where I gotta start the freaking process over again. Was it the second? Yay or nay is second? Alright. Alright. 3 p.m. I just took
are you, Bailey?
Hey, can you get this stamp, please, and entered? Actually, I need. Your name was what? Martin.
Hi.
Okay. All right. Let's see, Martin. All right. Hey, Sheriff. I wanted to ask you a question.
Sure.
Deputy Green. So that's what this is kind of all about. Was so he back in, I think it was 2015, if I'm not mistaken, he resigned in a cloud of I can't remember how the newspaper or how the news company worded it, but for falsifying reports, in particular DWIs. Do you, were you aware of that?
I know there was some mishaps back in the day, but we haven't had any issues with him since, and everybody makes a mistake. We're all human.
Dude, you know what? I sure wish somebody would say that about me, but I steadily get persecuted for false things, just like the county attorney just said. He took a bunch of falsehoods that Lafayette County, that Mississippi has put out, and figured I was a danger. I've never threatened anybody. My entire, I've never once. I'm a patriot. I'm a Marine Corps veteran. I've never threatened any physical harm. I appreciate it. And it sucks because a wrecking ball got taken to my life. I can't, I went from having every opportunity to, I can't even get hired now. Because of one thing after the other that these people have done. And so everybody deserves a second chance, but where's mine? It's like, especially when all I've wanted was a day in court to show that, I was completely denied due process. All this stuff was fabricated, but they wanted, it was just one thing after another, and it's just not fair, man. My private information got doxed out to 139 law enforcement officers, false information in my home address a few days after I moved down here to Layton, because I got a book that's about to publish. It's like...
Whatever your issues was, or his, nothing happened here.
But things have happened here, Morgan. The other day, I was trying to get your records clerk's name over there that wasn't Kylie, it was the other lady, and I was told to wait right here, and I guess somebody got the biggest sheriff deputy that you have that came down here and literally bullied me out the door. I just told him.
I'll be honest with you. That's why I'm here today, is because you had scared some people in the office the other day.
I didn't do,
So I ended up doing yard work, and then I got called and says, "Hey, the cameraman's back." So that's why I'm here. Make sure everything goes good.
Right, but see, if you look at the videos, I didn't scare anybody. That's the thing. That's ridiculous to say that. who's saying that I scared people? Because they need a serious wake up call if they're actually saying that I scared people.
Well,
I
I will
haven't.
say this. I've been trying to get a lock on that door down there for the last year, and because of your actions last week, I finally got it. So I appreciate it.
Wait, but what did I do last week?
You pounded on the door. You was trying to open the door with her in there.
Okay, because she
And she
slammed
was there
it.
by herself
Because
and you scared her.
because she slammed the door in my face because she didn't want to answer because she could say what she wanted, you know, and then as soon as I responded, she slams the door and wouldn't even give me her name. I have the right to find this information out. This is not. I mean, we're talking about the. We're talking about the government here, man. I mean, we're talking about it's you know, all this. We can keep everything private from the citizens when it's the citizens elect the government. You know, this is.
If it's a certain case you're referring to, that's depends on what. It's your opinion if you view it this way. It may be another person's opinion if they view it another way.
But she didn't deny me for that. I was simply denied because I didn't put an address down. And I was even told when I filled out the form that an email address alone would be fine.
It's not under state statute. It specifically says that, and I believe you were sent that. You have to provide a mailing address.
And that's fine. I'll provide my post office box address, but I would just like to get my public records. You know, I feel like, you know, the county, honestly, I feel like from the pushback I've gotten that there's something in those records that the county doesn't want. That's why they're pushing back so hard, and that makes me want them even, you know, that much more.
That's totally your opinion.
Well, then all it takes is just getting me the records. You know,
well, if you go through the proper chain, and you can take it up with the records board if it's not something that you agree with.
But I don't. But see, if I give you an address, then there's no reason for it to go to the records board. What that means is that's an intentional delay tactic.
No, it doesn't mean that at all.
So
there's a lot of interpretations to the state statutes and laws, and that's what the records board is there for.
But
so you can certainly utilize them. That is your right.
The only reason why I was denied was because of an address. So if I'm providing an address, then what's the reason of denial?
Have you sent in another request with your mailing address?
No, I came up here to update it onto that one. It shouldn't have to start the time over. This is what I'm saying. I sure hope I can see Garrett while I'm here. I've actually, just in anticipation of all this, I've already got a lawsuit prepped up to challenge this, and I've got all the standing in the world for it.
Do you have an attorney?
No, I'm actually I've represented myself in 11 different courts. Trust me, when you see the complaint, it's you're not going to know the difference from an attorney, drafting it to me. I've got 9 years of law experience under my belt.
Okay, so the statutes that are listed, then if you want to put in a request with your mailing address, that's a good start.
Well, but that's the sole reason it was denied. So I'm saying, let me just update it right here instead of having to fill out a whole nother request, because you'll have my request. Let me just give you my post office box address.
You can fill out another form if you'd like.
No, I can't. Well, do you want to? Well, how about you fill it out for me then? Take the other one and then you write it all out for me again.
No, you can do it.
No, that's not going to happen.
Okay, no, I'm not going to do that for you.
Well, you're absolutely ridiculous. See, these are tactics that y'all are using.
No, it's not a tactic, and you're putting things into. You're trying to twist this around, and you're probably going to alter this video.
No, actually, no. I always upload my videos the way that they are. So just like that right there, you just made yourself look horrible again.
Okay,
just remember, anything that you say or do can and will be uploaded to my YouTube channel. So
I am aware of that. Okay, so if you're welcome to fill out another request with your mailing address, as it says in state statute, or you don't have to do that. That's up to you entirely.
So y'all are literally just trying to find anything. You're trying.
No.
You're trying to find any reason.
I'm not going to have any more of this conversation.
Well, you are going to have this conversation.
No,
with me
I am
because you're
not.
trying to find any reason.
You need to go call Todd right now, he says.
Okay.
So
Okay.
You're trying to find any reason not to comply with a lawful request is what you're trying to do. What's your name? Hey, what's your name? What's your name?
Everything I do, we're always.
I'm asking for a little bit of transparency, you know, and I don't think that's asking too much.
Yeah, we're giving you every opportunity to do what you need to do. So.
Right, and I haven't done anything. I mean, please show me on that video, because I mean everything that I do is public record. You know, I don't hide anything. I really don't. But yeah, I don't hide anything. So if you're gonna say that I threatened people felt scared, then.
I'm not saying you threatened anybody. I'm saying you.
But you said after last week. But why? Am I being prejudged because of something that people found online?
I'm not judging at all.
But there's no reason based on what happened last week that people should feel that way.
But she felt threatened or scared.
I felt threatened and scared. She's a records clerk that, you know, wanted to tell me that, I don't know, I mean,
we can walk as we're heading out to the building.
Yeah, no, I got you. Trust me, I'm not trying to hang around.
Are you originally from Mississippi?
Yeah, I mean,
I hear the accent, so.
Yeah, I've lived between there and Georgia and South Carolina, and I was in the Marine Corps up in North Carolina, and yeah. Ooh. Shoot. All right. Oh. All right. Oh, I never did get a. Did she give me a stamped copy of that? I guess.
Yes. She gave that back to you.
All right. Sounds good. All right, Sheriff.
All right, thanks, sir.
What was your last name? Corey.
Stark.
Nice to meet you, Corey.
Yeah, you too.
All right, Ty.
Thanks. Good to meet you.
Good to meet you.